I think you're going to have a whole hell of a lot to say, but I think
Exactly.
I think what everybody wants to know is how do they know each other? What happened?
So the specifics and the details are only as they were said in court. That's as much as I can say, Dan. I wish I could give you more information, but this is a very, very sad day for everybody. No good ever comes from these horrible, horrible proceedings. If the Biechler family has closure, then maybe that's some good that came of it. The Sinopoli family is dealing with closure as well, so it's a tough time for everybody.
You said something in court, if I caught that right, that his wife didn't know this until 2 days ago?
His wife had no idea what happened in 1975, and the exact time when she found out about this, obviously it wasn't from David. He's been incarcerated and has very limited communication. So my staff has been to see David on numerous occasions, and we handle our representation of our clients, including contact with the family, a very unique way. That's all I'll say about it.
Has David said anything to you about a motive, about why he did this? I mean, the judge said he didn't think that he seemed like he was sorry.
So one of the best parts of the way our country works is that an individual has the right to be represented by counsel, and paramount in that is the right to confidentiality, and I will never breach that. If and when my clients speak to me about details of incidents, it's not my place to be their mouthpiece to the press, to tell the press what happened. I will say that I've had significant communication and contact with David, and I can tell you, contrary to what was said in court, he is remorseful. He's been dealing with this for 48 years as well, and now with a significant jail sentence, he will be dealing with it every day for the rest of his life.
You don't expect him to get out. I mean, he'd be 93. I mean, this is just like,
Dan,
is that like the plea to give like a glimmer of hope that something can hold on to?
So I can tell you, with a first and second degree murder sentence, it is in Pennsylvania, it's life. Life means no parole. Anytime there's a minimum and a maximum, there's always a chance. And I certainly am not going to sit in the seat of the good Lord above and tell anybody when their last day is going to be. I know many people who are alive in their 90s and past, so I don't know what the future holds. I do know that this agreement was very difficult to negotiate. Again, I meant what I said. I applaud the district attorney in Lancaster County and the detectives. They did an amazing job. Christy Wilson was dedicated. She was respectful. We had excellent communication, and this was a very fair resolution in a very difficult, horrific situation.
You talked a lot about the amount of evidence that was collected, just how challenging on both sides this case was. I mean, can you talk a little bit more about that?
Sure. So we have a team of people that were working on this. I know the district attorney's office did too, and the amount of evidence, the volume. Just take a look at the documents from 1975. There was no microfiche that was being used by the police, so they're actually pieces of paper. Paper deteriorates over time. So does the liquid ink on it. So getting things back together and then taking pictures of them and then recirculating them and then getting them to me, to my staff, so that my staff can then put them in the right order, to say nothing of the DNA. The DNA is volumes and volumes, and so many people were tested, their DNA in this case, to see if they were matches. Again, the district attorney's office did a very, very competent job. And then, of course, we will never take the word of any prosecution office. And I always say that's one of the cornerstones of our freedom in this country, is that we don't have a king, and we don't do whatever our government tells us to. We all have eyes and ears and minds, and we check everything the government does. And this time, they happen to be correct, and we made sure of that. So yeah, volumes, I mean, days, weeks turned into months, and eventually we were able to move this case along in what I consider to be a reasonable period of time.
Are you able to tell us a little bit more about the dynamic at play? Sorry, concerning, you know, where is his wife at in this? Where are his kids at in this? Are you able to talk about that a bit?
Sure, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking because we always hear the term victim, and usually the term victim annoys me when it's used in court because it's always the prosecution that uses that term. So many times there are victims on our side of the aisle too, so I appreciate your question. I truly believe that there are members of my client's family who are victims in this also. He's married to somebody for 36 years. He has 3 children. He has 9 grandchildren. I mean, you can imagine what they will do when they wake up tomorrow and they read what all of you are going to write and what you're going to say. I mean, these are human beings too, and I talk about a forgotten group of people. So I appreciate your question very much. Yes, the family dynamics for my client's family, I do not mean to belittle the Biechler family, their horror. I don't mean to belittle their emotion and what they've gone through and how difficult this time must be. But my client's family is also suffering greatly. And I don't know how people come around from this, but that question has been weighing on my mind too. So thank you for asking. Anything else?
Can you just say my first and last name?
Sure. My first name is Allan, Allan. My last name is Sodomsky, Sodomsky, Sodomsky.
Thank you, Helen.
Sure.